Yo, 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 what is going
What's
on,
good?
YouTube Nation? We're back on I was gonna say a Friday, but it's a Sunday afternoon, and we're here with another episode of State of the Giants. And I have to be completely honest, I know it's been a while since you seen me on YouTube, but you're probably gonna see me more and more as the offseason goes on, talking about the state of the New York Giants with not only um one of my closest friends, but a guy I actually consider a brother on this YouTube thing. You know, we knew each other for 3 years now, and I really salutes him for coming on the show and doing this with me today. So, what's up, brother Lou? How you doing today, man? And are you ready to talk some Giants?
Man, I'm always ready to talk about Big Blue, man. What's going on? Thank you, Zion, for having me. What's going on, chat, Miz, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Vinny G, man. What's going on, fellas?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so as the show goes on, we'll probably just discuss everything that's been going on with the Giants as for up to February 16th. I know we have free agency right around the corner starting on March 12th. And I know we got the draft soon after that. I honestly been focusing on basketball a little bit more because it's been so hard to listen to all these rumors and all these trades and everybody's opinion that's not coming from the organization. And I love it because it gives us, as Giants fans, it gives us a chance to hear everybody out. But sometimes you can go down a rabbit hole and then just get sucked in. And now we're gonna have Aaron Rodgers under center in 2025 season. So I just wanted to make this episode to bring you guys a state of the Giants of what me and G Nation thinks about the organization. And I think what what better way to start than Eli Manning not making the Football Hall of Fame first ballot. And I just want to say, first off, I think that is super disrespectful. But I'm gonna have Lou take the mic, and I want to hear his thoughts before I share mine. Being that he probably I know for a fact was a Giants fan longer than I was, and he probably seen Eli Manning get drafted. Where I came in being a Giants fan, where Eli Manning was already on the team. So I went back and I looked at obviously him getting drafted in the trade, but I just want to know your thoughts on what Eli Manning meant to you personally as a Giants fan, and then continue on about him not making the Hall of Fame.
Well, first off, I don't know him personally, so the what he meant to me means, two Super Bowl
Yeah,
trophies that he contributed immensely in bringing to New York. Michael Strahan was on the verge of retiring. He kind of questioned if he would ever get it. Eli Manning kind of coerced him into coming back and saying, "Look, man, I'll get you one if you come back." Uh, that speaks to the character of the man, right? Um, then when you look at the fortitude in that San Francisco game, NFC Championship, the hits, the helmet on the side, grass stuck all up in it, him having to pull the helmet back around like an old Daffy Duck cartoon when he got his bill shot off, you know, like just the gut and the determination, the Iron Man record of 216 games without missing one. A guy who you can depend on in the clutch, a guy who was a stand-up face of the franchise, no off-the-field activities that were disrespectful or would cast a bad light on the organization. Just a class act guy, the type of guy you want to be the face of your franchise. And when the chips were down and you needed a big play, you call on him and count on him to get it done. Um, MVP of Super Bowl twice, uh, top eight in all categories in quarterbacks, um, surpassing John Elway and all of that stuff. So for him to not be a first ballot Hall of Famer is a huge slap in the face, in my opinion. And people can argue, yeah, he finished 500 his career. Well, yeah, the Giants didn't do him a great service his last 5 seasons. Jerry Reese didn't replenish the O line. He didn't rebuild the defensive line. And Eli was getting crushed back there, and the defense was letting guys score at will. So hard to do anything when you're facing those kind of odds, but still, Eli Manning carried himself with class, showed up early, left late, played his heart out, took the hits, never complained, never whined, never had a bad press moment, never threw a coach under the bus. coach under the bus. Never missed a game until unceremoniously being benched for Geno Smith. Gave you some all-time plays in the biggest stages and biggest games in the NFL. You know, it was just a clutch comeback, fourth quarter comeback quarterback that you can count on. So, you know, and again, surpassing a lot of quarterbacks, becoming eighth overall in so many categories, you know, to not be a first ballot Hall of Famer is a slap in the face.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I want to get Mac's take. Mac, thank you for joining the show. Another fellow Giants fan, and he probably is not happy at Eli not making Hall of Fame as well. We all know he's gonna get in there, but he's a first ballot. But go ahead, Mac.
Well, look, it's not even so much about the first ballot because it's such a backlog on the Hall of Fame. I kind of can somewhat get it because the guys that made the Hall of Fame, it's not like they didn't deserve to be there, be to make the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? So it's not so much about the first ballot with me as it is. It's just people continue to disrespect the career of Eli Manning. Disrespect the career. I'm sitting there looking at shit on social media and people talking about he just won 2 big games ever in his whole career, and that's literally all he did. No, the fuck it ain't. Look at the numbers. He finished in the career top 10 passer of all time at the time he retired. Also, Eli Manning played in arguably, the best and greatest era of quarterback play the National Football League has ever seen. So the fact that people try to say he was never even an all-pro, well, I'm sorry that he played at the same time in his career at the same time as Brett Favre and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Drew Brees. And nobody's making arguments that Eli is better than those guys. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's just what the reality was. He played in an era of some great quarterback. So making an all-pro would have been a Herculean accomplishment in itself anyway, as all those guys who I just named either are already or will be definitely in the Hall of Fame as well. So you got to put things in a perspective that Eli Manning made players around him better. He made them better. You can't look at Eli Manning's career and say, when did he play with the future Hall of Fame wide receiver? The closest he got to that was Odell Beckham. And that clearly tapered off. His career is tapered off the way it has. He's probably... Exactly. He hasn't been, and that's my next point, Lou.
Facts.
It's not even just OBJ. You can go back to Jeremy Shockey. You can go to Hakeem Nicks. You can go to Kevin Boss. These players were not the same but when they stopped playing with Eli Manning, they weren't the same. Shockey, when he left the Giants, he went to the Saints and was forgotten about. Played another year with Carolina or something like that too, and his career was over. But yet he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory with the Giants as well as long as when he was playing with Eli Manning as well. You took a guy like Kevin Boss, who was just kind of like whatever, 3rd round pick, 4th, whatever round Giants drafted him in, and he became a serviceable tight end in the league for a couple of years playing with Eli Manning. He went off to sign his free agent deal with the Raiders. His career ended shortly after that as well. Hakeem Nicks, I know injuries played a big part on what happened with Hakeem Nicks, but he was injured all the time with the Giants as well, but he was still very productive when he was here. He leaves the Giants, his career comes pretty much to an end shortly after that. So to keep saying things like Eli Manning didn't elevate the level of play of other players is bullshit. You take a guy like Jake Ballard. Who the hell knew who Jake Ballard was before that one amazing season he had with the Giants? Another name, Martellus Bennett, played with the Cowboys for a few years or whatever, never got no burn on the field. Giants signed him to a 1-year deal, and Eli Manning, with Eli Manning as a quarterback, got that man paid. He got that man paid so much the Giants couldn't even afford to retain him. They couldn't even afford to retain him. That's how good a year Martellus Bennett had with Eli Manning as his quarterback. So come on, let's stop disrespecting the career of Eli Manning. He didn't just have 2 amazing playoff runs. That was just the cherries on the top. He was a very good quarterback his entire career, and he just happened to play in a time, in an era where there was a lot of great quarterbacks, some great quarterback play in the NFL. And sure, he wasn't quite up there with his brother and Tom Brady and those guys, but he was still a very good quarterback, and like I heard you say when I first got in here, Lou, durable. Durability got to mean something too, because Eli was always ready. He never missed a game. He only got sat that one damn time that benching for Geno Smith. Otherwise, Eli didn't miss a game. Always suited and booted, ready to go. That NFC Championship game in 2011 against the 49ers, you know how many quarterbacks would not have survived that game? Wouldn't even have survived it. Eli took a beating, kept getting back up and throwing darts and leading his team to the Super Bowl. All that shit got to count for something. Put some respect on Eli Manning's name. Put some respect on his name. It's just annoying that people keep trying to say, oh, he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. He didn't do anything. He only had two really good games. Oh, the defense won those championships. The defense played excellent in that 2007 Super Bowl. It did. It played excellent. But when it came down to the come down, it took a game-winning drive led by Eli Manning to get the job done against arguably the greatest team in NFL history. Put some respect on his name.
Absolutely, man. That was a beautiful take, by the way. That. Beautiful take on both parties, Luz and Max. And I think the boys said it perfectly. You know, put some respect on his name. And I just want to top it off with another player that you didn't mention too. Look at Steve Smith, number 12. You know what I'm saying? Look how he tried harder for a quarterback like Eli Manning, what he meant for the city of New York, what he meant for me as a young basketball fan, just loving watching Kobe and Allen Iverson, and then watching Michael Vick, and then Michael Vick gets arrested, and I'm sitting in my room, and I'm like, man, who am I going to follow now? And then I turn on the TV, and Eli Manning throws a touchdown pass to Toomer against the Bears. And then that season, they go and they beat, like Max said, one of the best teams to ever lace it up in the undefeated Patriots. And yeah, the defense did their job, nothing against the defense, but Eli Manning had to go and had to close the game. And not only did he close the game in 2007 playoffs, he also closed the game in 2012 playoffs. And what he meant for this organization is almost unmatched outside of a few other legends. And that being said, as a city and as fans, like real fans know, like we the organization messed up the final 6 years of his career. Absolutely. And the fact that it seems that people out there want to judge he doesn't deserve it because he has a 500 record is absolutely baloney and horseshit to me. What this guy meant for the NFL, and I'm not just saying put him in the Hall of Fame because his last name is Manning. Put him in the Hall of Fame. What that guy did on the fucking football field, and that's really, you guys wrapped it up perfectly. If there's anything else you guys want to say before we move on, please, this is the time. Well, yeah, number 10 deserves to be there. You got anything else, Lou?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
There's just no way people keep Eli Manning shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Get out of here with that.
You know, and I get it, Mac. If it's like, if it's young fans that really probably came in the OBJ era and didn't really see him play his best footballs, that's not, you know, I get that. You know, they maybe they didn't do their research to look back on his career. But when you have old heads, when you literally have football fanatics and people that have been in the industry, fans of the Shield for over 40 years, and to disrespect someone like Eli, but yet they're probably the same fans that's gonna probably want to put fucking Tony Romo in the Hall of Fame, makes no fucking sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It really does. I think Lou's having some technical issues. No. He'll be back momentarily, but that's where I get the anger with you. That's why I'm like, you by saying he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall, it just basically makes you as a fan look unknowledgeable, because what that guy did. Number one, what you mentioned too is never miss a game until he got benched by Geno, which was weird. But that availability is everything, right? If you have a job and you show up on time every single day, and it comes down to your raise, that's a category that they probably look into in school. That's why they have perfect fucking attendance awards. You know what I'm saying? So Eli Manning was a trooper and was a dog, and hopefully Lou's technical issues is done. But yeah, anything else you want to say about Eli Manning, Lou?
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing y'all said for the last 6 minutes. I'm sorry.
All good.
But yeah, I just believe that it was a complete disrespect to the man's career, to his legacy. The stuff people been putting on Twitter and everything else is just atrocious in my opinion. The man was an Iron Man.
He was reliable. He was the face of the franchise. He was a class act. He was clutch. You know, not too many quarterbacks have as many fourth quarter comebacks as he does, or as many game winning drives. You know, again, when he left the league, he led in all-time pass in the league in history. You know, seventh. In fact, I'm sorry, seventh. So you know, Elway and all that stuff. And listen, like Max said, he had Tom Brady, he had Peyton Manning, you had Drew Brees, you had Brett Favre, you had Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. You had all of these quarterbacks during his career that were phenomenal. Aaron Rodgers, you know, so for him to even be in that statistical category with those guys speaks about how good he was. So for people to be sitting here now saying, you know, he was a 500 quarterback and this and that, like, it is ridiculous to me.
That's absolutely facts.
Another thing too is like that bothers me about it is because Eli Manning, let's face it, he was just a guy that put his hard hat on, went to work, and did his job. He wasn't about all that attention. He wasn't an attention seeker. He didn't have all the little fancy, every time he threw a touchdown pass, got to be, you know, throwing up the little title belts or all this other whatever nonsense. He just go back to over to the sideline, act like he knew he just did his job. You know what I mean? Just simple and to the point. It was just the humility of him as well, I think, is what hurts him a little bit, where people just didn't see him as a guy that was deserving or that was deserving of being in the Hall. It's a joke to me. Eli Manning is a slam dunk for the Hall of Fame, and people need to just put that respect, the proper respect, on that man's name. Point blank and period. He had a Hall of Fame career. He has Hall of Fame statistics. Point blank, and he has 2 Super Bowl MVPs. He has 2 of the most amazing playoff runs that the NFL has ever seen. And to this day, he is still the all-time leading passer in one single playoff run. Point blank and period. All time, and even to this day, he ain't played in the Super Bowl since 2010-11 season or whatever, and I mean 2011 season, and he's still to this day the all-time leading passer in one single playoff run.
And add to that look what we've been without him since he's gone. Look what we've been.
Exactly. So that part too.
You know, put some fucking respect on the man's name and what he did for this organization.
Absolutely.
What up, Adam?
What up, Adam? Before I let you talk, I just want to say what's up, everybody in the chat. What's up, Jay? What's up, Coach? Thank you guys so much for joining. Coach. Anthony's in the building. We got Alex. The link is there, guys. Please click on it. We really appreciate you guys holding down the chat, though. But what's up, Adam? Thank you for joining us. Before we move on, we can't move on without asking you, what did Eli mean to you, and what do you thought about him getting stubs from the Hall of Fame first ballot?
Oh well, thanks for giving me a few minutes. What did Eli Manning mean to me? Man, that shit's crazy. When I became a Giant fan, the quarterbacks that I had to follow were Dave Brown, Kent Graham, Danny Cannell, and that's what I had growing up. Meanwhile, the Cowboys had Troy Aikman, they had Emmitt Smith, they had stars. I had Dave Brown. And I did a lot of what the Daniel Jones lovers did was I supported Dave Brown. Even though he was ass, I supported him. And I remember my friend, a Cowboy fan to this day, who was a friend of mine, turned to me and go, "Why the hell do you support that guy? He stinks." And I said at the time I was naive. I was like, "They're my team. I guess I got to support him." He's like, "Look, man, you can support him, but God, that guy is horrible." So then they get Kerry Collins, and I'm like, "Oh, this is great." And then all of a sudden we draft Eli Manning. And I was one who was a little upset with how he got Eli because I thought he was messing with the integrity of the draft. Like, yo, man, like, Elway did that. That was cool. Ernie, of course, he wasn't going to get that done to him again. But I'm like, yo, this guy, all he does is he's going to pout. And I was mad about it because I'm like, you know what? I don't want a guy that's just going to pout. Once he was drafted and became a Giant, after that point, it was smooth sailing. I watched every game. I remember I was at his first victory against the Cowboys. It was insane in 2004. Got tickets, went there. So Eli Manning was my quarterback. I didn't get to have a quarterback as a kid. He was, even though I was in my headed in my 20s, he was my quarterback. He was the guy that I thought I knew I had a puncher's chance with this kid. And there were some rocky roads at the beginning. People don't realize when he went to the playoffs in 05, he lost. He lost 23-0. And then the following year, it was much maligned.
The boos came.
But, I mean, the guy had a 50 passer rating in a game against the Ravens in 2004. But he was picked because Ernie Accorsi knew that guy had ice in his veins. And it was only a matter of time to get it. And he showed us. I mean, there was a comeback in 2005. I think it was we beat the Eagles. Where Plaxico Burress kept the overtime touchdown. I mean, you saw that. You saw the 2005 against Denver when he came back. And there were some moments where you're like, this guy's got greatness. I just hope he can put it together. And then Coughlin gets changed. He fires Huffnagel. And Kevin Gilbride comes in. And, 2007, if you weren't living in 2007 as a Giant fan, it was tough. We were about to fire the coach. We hated the quarterback. We wanted this team to do something. Even though they were winning playoff game, we were so greedy because we're like, man, we're not good enough. And let me tell you, that year, he didn't have the best season statistically. He had like 20 interceptions and 20 touchdowns. But, boy, when that playoff came on, he had a run in 2007 that was unforgettable. Unforgettable. And I'll never forget the first run he goes against Tampa Bay. I'm at a bar, and I'm like, and my friend looks at me and goes, you have no chance against Tampa Bay. I'm like, it's Tampa Bay, man. It's not, not world beaters here. Eli goes down, marches down the field, scores a touchdown, win the game. Check one. Next game is against the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody tell me we ain't got a chance. I'm wearing gear all over my building. Everyone, I didn't even know people walking up to me go, big game, goes down, beats Dallas. I'm like, check that box. Then he goes to Green Bay. And that game, we're like 15 on Green Bay, Brett Favre, Hall of Fame. No, they never lost to Lambeau, goes down, beats them in that game. And I'm like, damn, this kid just does not stop. And then, of course, in the Super Bowl, he has that great play, and we won. And I ran down the street like a maniac. I was like, wow. I didn't think he was in the Hall of Fame then. But it wasn't until 2011 when he had the game, and this was the game I think put him in the Hall of Fame, that 49er game. He got his ass absolutely destroyed. Did not complain, pulled grass out of his helmet, was getting, when I say murdered, it was like Mike Tyson beating on those 90s fighters, that he used to get put in. He was beating the hell out of these, getting beaten the hell out.
Adam,
yes.
You remember the Daffy Duck when he got shot and his bill was over here and he had to bring his bill back? Yes. That's what it was like with his helmet.
Oh, right. Oh my God! Yeah, when he was shot by Yosemite Sam or Porky Pig or Elmer Fudd and his thing would spin around. That's what Eli's helmet was, pulling. And he didn't cry about it. He didn't do nothing. He just kept pulling himself. And after he won that game in the clutch, because he had a clutch, no one realized that clutch throw to Manningham in the end zone when they got the ball turned over was crazy. Like, wow, you made that throw. And then to get us down and kick the field goal, and obviously the rest is history. He goes on and has a great season. But that game right there was like, if you didn't like Eli Manning then, that put him at legendary status to me. And that's the game to me that would be if you're talking about Hall of Fame, go back and watch that game. If that's not a Hall of Fame fucking performance, I don't know what is. The guy has nothing. Nobody's blocking for him. He had the worst offensive line in football. And that 49er team put him under siege. You thought the Titanic sinking was bad? Eli Manning getting pummeled left and right by the 49ers was worse. Okay, and he did. He was like the band. He just kept playing his music while that shit was going down, and he rectified that shit and made all the plays necessary. So to me, Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer. Not to mention 2 Hall of Fame throws in the fucking Super Bowl, and this guy gets snubbed. I'll tell you why he gets snubbed. Because the regular season, they try to put this big onus on the regular season, and the regular season is good, and that's good for certain things, but you shouldn't hold it against him for those 500 teams. He was still putting up 4,000 yards with Odell Beckham Jr. in 2015. Okay, 2014, he's still putting up 4,000 yard seasons. His team was ass because they had no defense. Am I going to put that on Eli Manning because the team is ass? No, but when he needed it most, listen. Everybody remembers Larry Donnell's name, okay? Nobody knows how long that guy played with the Giants, but if you knew about San Francisco 49er game in 2014, you knew Larry Donnell because guess who brought them back in that game? Eli Manning marched down the field and gave a nobody a shot and made that nobody a somebody in Giant lore, okay? That's what Hall of Fame players do. They make nobodies into somebodies, and damn it, Eli Manning deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well said, guys.
I'm glad you brought that game up real quick. Because being at that game live that night, like I said, being in the stadium that night at MetLife, people were walking out of the stadium because they thought the game was over and the 49ers had put the Giants away, and they were leaving the stadium. And Eli Manning led that drive down the field, that game-winning drive, threw that touchdown pass in the back of the end zone to Larry the Net. People were literally trying to run back into the stadium like, nah, you dumbasses. You should have kept your asses in the seat. Eli Manning's your quarterback, and you know you always got a chance when number 10 is on the goddamn field. And that night was just epic. It was a Sunday night game that night, and it was just an epic game. And just watching how it all went, how it all played out. People like, that's why certain guys you never count out. Certain guys you got to understand will always give you a chance to get the job done and give you a chance to win. And Eli Manning was always one of those guys. You never felt, as long as that game was close going into the fourth quarter, Eli Manning was your quarterback, you knew you had a chance. That's the reality. Yeah, sure. You might not have got the best version of Eli in the first quarter, but god damn it, he was a killer in the fourth quarter most of the time.
And a sniper inside 2 minutes. Inside 2 minutes, an absolute sniper. There was
absolutely.
There were times in the 2 minute drill, and I thought he was the best 2 minute drill quarterback I've ever seen. If gun to my head, I need somebody to go down.
For Eli, absolutely.
Down by 4 with 2 minutes to go and a timeout. Give me Eli Manning. I'm going to be saved. I'm going to laugh at you as you're holding the gun to my head because I'm like, you're about to let me free. You know, what are you talking about? Eli Manning had a horrible game up 3.5 quarters. All of a sudden, down 4. What do we got? Number 10 just locks in. And I think that's where you can't measure a Hall of Famer always by the stats. He has the stats to get in, right? It's like a 300 hitter. He has all the home runs that he needs. His reputation is because of the record. I mean, he did two things that nobody else did. A perfect team, right? No, there's been one perfect team in the history of the NFL. The NFL is 100 years old.
The Dolphins.
72 Dolphins, yeah.
And the one team, this team was about to break that record and more, a record that probably would never be touched if they got to 20-0. They lost. And it to me, it's or 19-0, whatever the record would have been, it would have been one of those things where you would have said that's the greatest team we've ever seen. And they took down the greatest team probably that I've ever seen play football in my lifetime. Because I wasn't alive in the 72 Dolphins. But I was alive for the 2007 fucking Patriots. And that team was putting 50 burgers on everybody. Randy Moss had a rebirth.
Yeah, 25 touchdowns or something like that. Ridiculous.
Brady threw for 50 touchdowns that season.
Yeah.
Right? Like they were blowing teams out. They came in, they beat us. And I'll never forget when Tom Coughlin told them to go play. And I'm like, yo, why not? Why are we sitting here not going to try to knock them off? And that game in December was really the catapult to their run in the playoffs. Had they not played that game, we might not be talking about 2007 the way we are.
We'd have probably lost the first round.
Right.
But going toe-to-toe with them and losing by 3 points, knowing that was the best team of the era.
Right.
It was like, wait a minute. We can do this thing.
Yeah.
We're not here by accident. And let's focus. Let's work a little harder, and let's go out there and punch these dudes in the teeth. And
right. Yeah. And they manifested.
You're 100% right on that shit.
And that's what I'm saying is that the mark of a Hall of Famer is one that resonates for decades. We are not going to forget those runs, the way they made us feel, the things that Eli Manning has done for this organization on and off the field.
I'm gonna just say this right now too. Like I'm living proof, man. I grew up a Michael Vick fan, you know, and
was the way he read defenses better than anybody. In my opinion, better than Peyton. Eli Manning could read your defense, switch into something that was more conducive for his offense at that moment, and he can put you in a position to win. He was a coach on the field, and that's what he doesn't get his respect for, and it aggravates the hell out of me.
Because he's
sorry. Go ahead.
He was you could his brother. That's why.
And I would say this, not to interrupt you, Adam, but I would say this, like I'm living proof. You know what I'm saying? You say these ones that he ran on goes down in history, and these are Hall of Fame ones that he did twice, and he won the Super Bowl against one of the best dynasties the league has ever seen. And if you really think about it, like I'm living proof, man. I grew up a basketball fan, and everybody knows that, right? And I dabbled in from football from time to time, living in Hawaii. Everybody talks about it. But then when I go and I turn on my TV and I see this guy at number 10 and he's going and he's leading his team down to victory and they go on this amazing run to enter the playoffs, and then they go and they beat teams that people thinking they're not going to beat, and then Lawrence Tynes kicks us into the Super Bowl, and then we go into the Super Bowl, and he leads us to another fourth quarter win and drive. I became a lifelong Giants fan, and that stands for something in the sense of there's a lot of there's a lot of people that obviously younger fans that became Giants fans off of OBJ, but there's a lot of other people that became Giants fans off of Eli.
Well, the last thing that I'll say about Eli is the true mark of a leader when people stand at attention when you talk. And the night before the Super Bowl, he stood up and said a speech. The room, you could hear a pin drop. That's how, because Eli never did that stuff. He never really talked. He was a prankster. People used to tell us all the time, oh, he's funnier than you guys think, until he went on SNL and blew the doors off his SNL skits. But inside that locker room, those guys didn't hear, you didn't always see the rah-rah. We as New Yorkers now, we want to see the rah-rah, because we know what Eli is. Eli was what we needed at the time. Now we need a different attitude in the building, I think, now. But when Eli was there, he could take all the hate. I remember a story of him telling Todd Coughlin, like, yo, I know I stunk against the Ravens, but keep me in the game. I'm telling you, I'm going to get this. I'm going to put this together. Just don't give up on me. Right. And then the night before the Super Bowl, telling his team how much it meant to be there and to be a part of it. They flocked to that guy. And now you see it when they have interviews and, old school round tables. Who's leading the charge? I mean, Eli Manning is taking it to a whole new level. Right. I also believe your personality in the media helps you get into the Hall of Fame. Like Joe Montana, he was around. He's been doing Hanes commercials and ballparks, and was with Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky in commercials growing up. Eli Manning's all over the place. Guy's on a show, and he's on Monday Night Football. So he's also now a broadcaster. So those type of things should have put him in. And I think there's just a lot of media bias for whatever reason, because maybe they expected him to be Peyton. And that's what happens when you have a brother that's famous, is they measure you against the brother, not the peers, right? Against his peers, he's one of the best with his peers. But amongst his brother, you say, oh, well, he's Eli Manning, right? So it's not the same. And to me, his
brother was a better passer, in my opinion. Sorry to interrupt you, but I believe Eli was better at reading the defense.
Right.
Go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
What I mean is that because his brother had the standard, had already hit the bar, because his name is Manning, we're expecting that type of greatness. And what we're missing out on is, if his name was Eli Smith, we'd be talking about him as one of the best quarterbacks we've ever seen, but we don't, because his name is Manning, so we put him on a higher pedestal than normally Joe. Like, you look at Phil Rivers, right?
Hold on real fast. I would like to make a point on that point. Just how everybody right now is almost like, oh, we can get Orch Manning because of that last name, and we played less than 3 college football games. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like that name, in a sense, is yes, it's a legacy family, but he shouldn't be judged based off of that name, and Orch Manning shouldn't have all that expectations based off of that name. It's almost the expectations that they have Bronny coming into the league playing, but Bronny's not at that level to play yet. You know what I'm saying?
We have royalty coming in right now in Shedeur Sanders, and I think he's getting pinged.
We're gonna get to the quarterbacks.
I think he's getting pinged for the opposite reasons, right? Because his dad was a defensive player, flamboyant, outgoing, and I think that he is getting pinged for that, as opposed to Eli Manning, who's had Arch Manning in the game, Peyton in the game, and the standard is different, right? So I think you're seeing the two extremes right now, and I do believe in my heart of hearts that you're going to see some synergy between what the Mannings brought and what the Sanders are going to bring. But that's a story for another day. To wrap the bow on Eli, I just think you can't measure Eli and not say that he's a Hall of Famer, because he did Walter Payton Man of the Year. If Phillip Rivers has the career that Eli Manning has, we're not even questioning him being a Hall of Famer. To me, Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer, but he's not, because he doesn't have championships. He doesn't have accolades. Well, he should be in there anyways, right? But Eli Manning's done what he needed to do in that trade. He got 2 championships. How many championships can you say many quarterbacks have more than two. There are not many in the entire history of the NFL that have two or more championships. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even the greats. I mean, Tom Brady's got 7. He's an anomaly, and so is Mahomes. But most guys only have at 2, maybe 3 at best. So he's in an elite class by himself. And not to mention 2 Super Bowl MVPs. That's an even smaller class than the class of quarterbacks that have won more than one Super Bowl. So
Tiny class.
So he should be in for those.
And like I was saying, oh, sorry, I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
I'm done now.
But I was saying before you had came on, like I was saying about the quarterbacks, like I said, the era of the quarterbacks he played with. Like I said, you look at the Brett Favres, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's, the Aaron Rodgers, the Drew Brees, the Phillip Rivers, the Ben Roethlisbergers. The only one of those that's got more Super Bowl MVPs than Eli is Tom Brady. You're talking about he has more than his brother. He's got more than Brett Favre, than Aaron Rodgers. Nobody questions these guys, and for obvious reasons. Eli Manning also belongs in that group. He belongs. It's just crazy that people try to question Eli Manning's whether he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Like I said, I don't care about the first ballot shit. Like I said earlier before, I don't really care. I get the backlog at the Hall of Fame, so I understand it all. But he deserves to say people that outright say he's not a Hall of Fame, he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. That is absolutely ridiculous to me. Absolute. It's been some very respectable people that have said things like this, and it's like makes me question. Like, what were you really watching? When you watched Eli Manning play, what were you really truly watching?
Look up how many MVPs those Super Bowl winners, like how many have multiple MVPs. I guarantee you that list that you showed is even smaller than that. So, not to interrupt you, Mac, but I'm just saying because I was just trying to tell Lou, like, he brought up the Super Bowl and you see Tom Brady with 7 and then, a few other guys with like Terry Bradshaw has 4. I mean, that's crazy. Montana and a few others. But there's some guys with Eli Manning where his brother doesn't even got 2 MVPs.
Only three to answer your question. The only other players, so Patrick Mahomes tied Joe Montana for the second most Super Bowl MVPs. Okay, so Mahomes and Joe Montana. The only other players to win the award multiple times are Terry Bradshaw, Eli Manning, and Brett Story. So 5.
Okay, so 5 players, and the Pittsburgh Steelers went 4 times. Okay, the Patriots have been there God knows how many times. Patrick Mahomes has been there already 5 times, and he's up there in that category, in that group. Like that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. I love this conversation, but we did give 40 minutes to Eli.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on.
Go right ahead.
Hold up real quick. Jim Plunkett, yeah, he got 2 Super Bowls, but come on, let's face it. Jim Plunkett didn't have the accomplishments of Eli Manning overall, even throughout his career. Jim Plunkett went to 2 Super Bowls, and maybe he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, honestly, and maybe he is a snub. But at the end of the day, he also wasn't a Super Bowl MVP twice either. So, I mean, I get it. The people that always try to bring up Jim Plunkett's name and say, he won 2 Super Bowls, why shouldn't he be in the Hall of Fame? Eli Manning did other things. He just did. And the stats say he should be in the Hall of Fame. His numbers, everybody else in the same range of statistically throughout their career with the numbers of Eli Manning are in the Hall of Fame. They're in the Hall of Fame, point blank and period. So they all deserve to be, but Eli Manning doesn't? Come on. None of that makes sense. It doesn't make sense when people try to say that. Eli Manning put the respect on his name that he deserves. His career was significantly better than people try to give him credit for. And it might not have always been the prettiest, but God damn it, it was effective. And Lou said it best. Look at the New York Giants since. Look at the state of the New York Giants since. Yeah, sure, his last few years and so in the league, they were still not a great football team, but was that on Eli Manning? No, it wasn't because of Eli Manning. That wasn't the reason why it was just things were going south. The O-line, they never was able to fix the O-line, and things just kind of went the way they went. But let's face it, the Giants have been a complete mess, a disaster since Eli's left. A disaster. So
and Coughlin.
That's it. You're right, Azar. We've been on here for like
Right. Don't forget him.
You guys are good. I just know that we all are Giants fans, so we can literally cover this for 2 hours straight. But I know there's other topics we want to get there. I want to say salutes to Mitch. I'm not going to put that comment on the screen, but congratulations on the ball. We'll give you guys that. But we're not going to put that up on the screen.
Comments,
Thank you so much.
on.
Thank you so much, Mitch, for being here. We really appreciate it. Leader, co-founder of Hardcore Sports Network. Really appreciate you being here. We got Edmund in the house. Salute to you, brother. Thank you so much for being here as well. Miz, always getting at the chat. That being said, I do want Lou to start this off. Anytime. God damn you, Mitch. That being said, I do want Lou to kind of start this off and then pass it over to Mac, pass it down to Adam, and then up over to me. Let's talk about it, right? There's a lot of rumors out there, right? There's a lot of rumors about Mathew Stafford. What the latest on what I read about it, correct me if I'm wrong. Miz is all excited, wants to get a 5th Super Bowl with him. The way I look at it is, yeah, the Rams doesn't mind trading him, but the Giants are not stupid enough to give up our 3rd. And I believe that's what's taking the trade so long. The Rams want our 3rd overall, and the New York Giants is like, hold up, we're not going to give you number 3 overall. But regardless of that, let's talk about Mathew Stafford. Do you want him here on the organization? What's the plan if we get someone like Mathew Stafford here? Do you go and do you still draft a young quarterback to sit under Mathew Stafford? Or do you rather take the route of going and signing a Russel Wilson, a James Winston, a Marcus Mariota? There's people like Carson Wentz and Justin Fields out there. So let's begin with Lou. Obviously, a lot to get in with free agency and our quarterback room to fix it this offseason. So go right ahead, man. The mic is yours.
Thank you for having me again. How do I say this? I want us to draft a quarterback, regardless whether we get a stopgap quarterback, whether it's Mathew Stafford, James Winston, whoever it is, right? We're drafting a quarterback. If we don't draft a quarterback, there is something completely wrong with this organization. Okay. Now, where we draft them is up to the organization, obviously. But even if you draft Shador by some miracle, he's there for us at 3, and you draft Shador, I still want a veteran quarterback here that can be a mentor to him, that can help him get acclimated to the NFL so the game could slow down for him a little faster, right? Because we know that the NFL now is not the NFL of old that would allow a quarterback to sit for a season or 2 and learn. They throw you out there. And given our current position at the quarterback, if we draft a quarterback high, he's going to be starting. So, you would at least want a veteran there on the headset or something, being an example for him, a mentor for him, regardless of who we draft. But I wouldn't mind having a guy like Mathew Stafford for that position, depending on how much we're paying for the guy. I'm not giving our number 3 pick for Mathew Stafford, who's 37, almost 38 years old.
What's your max contract you pay him? He's probably going to want to demand 45 to 50 to 40 million at least. What do you pay him?
You have to sit down and be real with yourself, bro. You about to be 38. You're on the downslope of your career. Listen, we're going to bring you in here. We're going to, treat you respectably, give you a nice little chunk of change. We need you to do this job for us. Be a mentor to this guy. You're not here to be Super Bowl Matt. You're not here to be fucking, Joe Montana or Tom Brady or Dan Marino. We need you to come in here and be a mentor to this young kid. Get on the headset, show him the ins and outs, teach him how to not get hurt, how to be durable, how to come up here and be a professional and play ball. Now, if you got better offers on the table, go take them. That's it. And when he don't got better offers, he'll come back and he'll sign. You don't go grocery shopping when you're hungry.
That's facts. That's a big facts.
Go draft your quarterback, and then you get your free agent veteran afterwards.
Well said. Go right ahead, Mac. Get Adam started on this.
Well, we talked about this extensively on Wednesday. Me and Adam did extensively. And my opinion is going to be the same. No, this team ain't in position to get a Mathew Stafford. To me, he's not a bridge. They want the number 3 overall pick for him. He's still in that category where they think they can even ask for the number 3 overall pick for him. That tells you that he's not a guy that this New York Giants team needs. Right there, that tells you that. Because Mathew Stafford is a very good quarterback still. He's also very injury prone. He's also 37 years old, and there ain't no way he's taking any kind of a fucking discount to come to fucking New York and play for the Giants. He's going to want what the fuck he's worth, what he feels as though he is very much worth. That already takes him off the table, in my opinion. In my opinion, takes him off the table. Also, it gives that right there gives the New York Giants an excuse to not take a quarterback at all, because the rumors swirling around that they don't like the quarterbacks in this draft class anyway. That'll be the excuse, the ultimate excuse not to take one. This is what the hell the Giants' problem is. They don't understand the state that they are in. It is a rebuild from the bottom up. It ain't no we competing, rebuilding, competing at the same time. No, that's not what this team is. This team needs to be rebuilt. Get your own guy. Start from the bottom and understand the position you are in. Mathew Stafford's the kind of guy you bring in if you are like just that if all you need is that quarterback that's going to take you over the top and you can compete for a title right now. We are not that. We are not.
So they have a disease.
That is not what the New York Giants
part of starting your growth process is identifying that you have a problem. The Giants haven't identified that they have a problem if they still think that a quarterback is going to solve everything.
That's a great point. I love the points you made too, Mac. Continue.
Because you bring Mathew Stafford in here, that doesn't solve everything. You still need an offensive line. You still need a defense that could create pressure and get sacks. Okay? You still need a cornerback that can defend against the deep threat. You know, our running game is suspect. Our tight end, we don't know who the hell we got at tight end. We had 5 tight ends and none of them was a superstar. Like, what the hell are we doing? So it's a lot more with this team.
You know, Joe Shane, he loves drafting his tight ends.
It's to me, it's just like the team got to understand where they at, and you got to rebuild. You have to rebuild the right way. Look at the example of the teams in your damn division. Look at them as an example. You got to rebuild the right way. You can't just think you can put a Band-Aid on shit and that's going to make everything better. Sure, it might make for a all right season, but then where we go after that? Go back to 2016. Go back to 2022. Look at what this team is, man, and be real with yourself. You got to start this thing over and get it right and put a good team together, and you got to start from the foundation because it's all the way broken. This team, you got to rebuild the right way, man. And going after a guy like Mathew Stafford, that's not rebuilding the right way, in my opinion. It's not the slight on Mathew Stafford. I understand he's still a very good quarterback. It's just that you got to rebuild things, rebuild it up the right way, man. Get a couple young guys, and like Adam has always said, my God, if you're not happy with the quarterback you get this year, then so be it. Go back in and get another one next year if you got to. I mean, you just you got to build this thing up the right way, man. You just, like you said, Mathew Stafford is a Band-Aid. He's not the real solution that's going to truly put this team over the top. He might come in and he's so good, right? He might, get us some wins and possibly, hell, maybe sneak into a wild card spot or something. Who knows? But we've been down that road before. We have been down that road before. Got to do it the right way and build for long-term success. And bringing in Mathew Stafford is not building for long-term success. It's not. It's not building for long-term success.
Here's my thing, too. I don't trust the guys in the office to get it done. Joe Shane let a Hall of Fame player leave this building for nothing. We got nothing for Saquon Barkley. We got absolutely nothing for a Hall of Fame player, a gold jacket player that Gettleman was 100% right about. Was it the right time to draft him? Were we in position to win because of Barkley? No. but he was right about the fact that he was a once-in-a-lifetime talent. And Joe Shane let this guy walk away for absolutely nothing. We also don't have McKinney. We also don't have a plethora of other players who were not being developed under these coaches that went elsewhere and immediately shined, which lets me know that our GM is incompetent and our head coach. So no matter who we draft, whether they're the top of the class or the middle of the row, I don't trust these guys to develop them or coach them or get the best out of them. In fact, I think that they will hinder Shador's career. They will get that boy hurt. Brian Dable likes to run his quarterbacks way too damn much.
I will say this. Great point, Lou. I will say this, Raphael. Before we hand the mic to Adam, I know Adam's gonna cook something up on this too, and I just want you to say a few things. Welcome to the show. Yeah, Miz, I'm trying to. He's not.
I put the link. He's in Lou's chat. He's on Lou's stream. I just put it in there.
Okay, thank you. I also sent it to him on his DM. Yeah, because I know when Miz gets in here, he's gonna have his thoughts. So before we get everybody talking, I love this conversation. I do want Raphael to say a few words and then pass it over to Adam because I know Adam got something he wants to cook up as well.
Hola, mucho gusto. Mi nombre es Rafael.
Well,
El Capitan.
The people know that I know I'm the Capitan, but you know what? I mean, for those guys who didn't know, and some guys they know because I know that I'm a Las Vegas Raiders fan, but also I talk a lot of things in football. But should I think that the New York Giants could be competitive? I really think so because I know there was a lot of doom and gloom, but also they had some talent on that team. They have a lot of weapons, a decent offensive line. They have Dexter Lawrence, Burns, decent linebackers, and some young talent at the secondary. If they had even okay quarterback play last year because they think about 7-9 wins, they would have possible. It really comes down to the quarterback that they have no great options. It seems even good rookie quarterbacks can take a year or two to play competitive football. It's not about the cat space that's holding the Giants. It's about Joe Schoen and Brian DeBoer, which is amateurs. In between for the case of Mathew Stafford, what they did about like last offseason, they moved this guaranteed money. So he has only $4 million guarantee. $4 million guarantee left. It is unlikely to want to play on that. I wonder if we will get their similar organization to stay with the Rams or they're going to set him free. As Trent Williams did to the 49ers, guaranteeing more the remaining contract without adding more years or changing much else. I mean, that could happen. I mean, like there's no other scenario. Just feel like wild speculation about it. I mean, obviously, from my perspective,
this guy is showing you in real time how to use AI for your sports on YouTube. Great job, Raphael.
What I understand about it, I mean, there's no way that the Los Angeles Rams are going to move on to Stanford. It could make sense, probably not. All right, so I just finished my speech. Well, I know I understand about it, but
okay, good shit, Raphael.
yeah, I know that for those people who don't know about this, but I know that. Well, even though that I'm a good football fan, I'll learn something about new. I'll learn something about great, but you know, I'm still great. I'm still great, but you know what? Here it comes.
No, good work. Good work.
Yeah, it is.
You're on mute.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
It's about
Adam.
the rebuild, man. It's about the rebuild. Got to rebuild the right way. I just can't say it. I can't emphasize that more. Rebuild the right way and stop trying to do it the wrong way. Stop trying to do it the wrong way. The wrong way hasn't worked. You tried to do it the wrong way, and it doesn't work. Do it the right way. Damn it. Build a team. Or get somebody in here that knows how to.
Facts on that. Thank you so much for that take, Raphael. We're gonna hand the mic over to Adam. I know he has something cooking up that he wants to probably let the fans know let the people know. Adam, what you got cooking? What would you want in free agency? And we can talk the draft after when we start talking draft. But if there's intertwined with your point, by all means, get at it. Let's get it.
First off, Matthew Stafford's a gun for hire. A team like the Pittsburgh Steelers is a team that Matthew Stafford fits in. You drop him into Pittsburgh, they instantly become better. They instantly talk championship. You drop Matthew Stafford into the Giants, all you're carrying is a big cap hit for some hope and a prayer. Just like Raphael said, competitive. I don't give a damn about being competitive. Okay? I don't that we've always been competitive. That's what that's like our bar for the Giants. Ooh, let's be competitive. Ooh, let's be competitive. I don't want to be competitive anymore. I want to win. I don't want to have sustained success. Not just let's be competitive one year and then dip another. Matthew Stafford in the last 5 years has been beaten up and battered. Hasn't played a full season in all of his 5 years. So he's not going to come in here and be a beacon of durability. He's not going to come in here for no $30 million a year either. Okay. He wants big money. He wants to get paid. So where his intentions lie? Are his intentions here wanting to win a championship? Because people talk about, he wants prestige. Why am I going to come here on the twilight of my career and try to rectify a team that's 3-14. In the history of the NFL, nobody's done that when they've been rock bottom. Bringing an old guy like that, and all of a sudden it's magic success. Matthew Stafford has to be a +6 in the win column, people. +6, because that's the worst team in the NFC to make the playoffs, which is Tampa Bay, and they won the division, by the way. You have to be +6. They won 9 games. So if Matthew Stafford guarantees you 9 games, sure, I say do it. But does that mean you're going to catch up to the Eagles, who just won the Super Bowl, or the Commanders, who have now millions of dollars to spend? I don't think so. So now you're going to have a guy who's contemplating retirement already with the Rams, sitting here eating up all your cap space to hope that we could be, December football in the end, so I could wear my jersey and high five people. Give me a break on that crap. I don't want to hear about it.
Go ahead. Hey, listen, Adam, peep this. Now, these are the same people who were saying that Eli was too old at 37. It was time for him to go. But exactly. You want to bring in a 37-year-old Matt Stafford.
What are we talking about here? You want to go in reverse, right? And then I hear about, he's a leader. He won a Super Bowl. Well, then why don't we get Russ Wilson for half the price, who's done the same thing as Matthew Stafford, who actually fits the offense better because he can run a little bit more. Matthew Stafford is not going to run around in the pocket. Brian Dable, he does not fit Brian Dable's offense. Okay, every quarterback that Dable had has some type of scrambling ability, whether it was Tyrod Taylor to Tommy DeVito to Daniel fucking Jones to even Drew Lock. They all could move around. Josh Allen, he moves around. Matthew Stafford is cool because he throws no-look passes because he can slide to the left and slide to the right, but he's not going to go and pick you up a first down. He's not. He's not doing that. That's not what his game is. So now you're going to have a guy who's a sitting duck behind an offensive line that if they have one injury to Andrew Thomas, the whole line goes haywire. So for me, my plan, and this is what I would do, okay, I would bring in Russell Wilson because the Giants want star power at the quarterback position. Okay, and Russell Wilson, they already flirted with anyways. He's going to command some money, but at least it's not going to be as much as, Matthew Stafford. The other thing is, he also knows that he's not going to be the long-term starter. When you get Russell Wilson, you don't need to worry about getting Abdul Carter. You can worry about going and getting Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward because that would be the plan. You get a guy in here, that guy can show you the ropes. That guy can come here. He can phase his career out, go right into broadcasting with his wife and do all that stuff that they want to do, and it works out, and you don't have to spend as much money. You don't have to worry about him thinking about retiring. And, by the way, you can go up and get your quarterback like that. And then, by the way, they did this in 2004 with Eli Manning. They brought in Kurt Warner. They let Kurt play to a certain point in the season. Then they pulled the plug, and they gave it to Eli Manning, who got experience. And then you know what they did the next year? They went out and they signed Kareem McKenzie, Plaxico Burress, and Antonio Pierce, and had a ballpark home run draft. Okay, so you can do that right now in 2025. You can get Russell Wilson. You can get Shedeur Sanders. You can draft the trenches after that. And then next year when you have money, you can bring in things and not use this year because I believe this is going to be a punt year anyways. Our schedule is tough. It is tough. The same people who want Matthew Stafford are the same ones telling me how bad the roster is. So if you're going to have the roster be bad, and then bring in Matthew Stafford. How is that going to equal? How's that equaling out? He's not going to raise the bar that big. He didn't do it in Detroit. Okay, he was good in Detroit, but did he carry those teams into the playoffs all the time? No, he was always flirting or on the cusp with losing when in that thing. He would have 4,000-yard seasons, throw to Megatron, make millions of fans all over the place, but he didn't do anything with those teams. So that's what he's going to do here. It's not like you're going to insert Matthew Stafford and instantly your credibility goes up. He works well in LA for many different reasons. So I take the cheaper option. I know people don't like that. And I go with the quarterback then in the first or second round where you already know that Russell knows that, listen, man, you're going to be here with the starter. If things go haywire, we might have a young kid in here. We might not. You can't tell him, obviously, when you're signing him in March, what's going to happen in the draft that you don't know. But you can at least tell him, hey, listen, you'll be our starter going into the season and whatever happens, happens. At that point, the coach has got to make the decision. That's just how I build it.
Well said. What's up, Miz?
I agree with you 100% on that. If we're gonna get a guy like Shador or Cam Ward, a young guy that's gonna be a mobile quarterback, then yes, I would want a Russell Wilson or a James Winston to be his mentor, not a Matt Stafford, because that's not Matt Stafford's game. But I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good, dude. No, I just was saying, what's up, Miz? Thank you so much for joining the show. And I know Miz has different thoughts on this, so I want to get his thoughts.
What up, Miz?
What's up, Blue? What's going on? You guys already know my.
Go ahead, Miz, because you got the opposite opinion, man. Let's go.
I have an opposite opinion, but I understand you and Adam. I understand it. We spoke yesterday on the space. I understand it. I'm not against going your way. My plot was like, if you would get a Stafford, because we have a lot of money the next 2 years, so I don't think money's an issue. So I throw that out. I'm not going to give him $50 million, but if you could get a Stafford, trade a second-round pick, that anyone who thinks that the number 3 pick overall is on the table has to have their head examined. It's not, okay? So anyway, if you could have brought in a Stafford, if you could have, because it's probably not going to happen, but if you could have brought in a Stafford, I felt like he holds this down for 2 years. He allows the players that have been losing in this building to play meaningful football now, feel like they're a football team. You got to understand that Joe Shane and Dable, no matter what we think about we want a long-term success, if these guys don't have some type of football season next year, they're fucking gone, whether you believe it or not. So you got to put yourself in Joe Shane's mind frame.
We are.
But you bring in a Stafford, I'm just saying, he holds it down, allows you to draft real good talent, build the roster, maybe get an Abdul Carter at 3, something like that, whatever. Add a blue chip to the D-line, stack the trenches O-line, get a corner, build this team up, and then maybe next year, I know you don't want to hear this, but maybe next year, and I know you're going to say, but if you win 8 games, you're not going to be high enough. I get it. But that's what I was thinking. Maybe you kick the can one more year, or you take a quarterback in the 3rd round. I don't know. I was just thinking, and yeah, the thought of a top 6 or 7 quarterback who still has an arm, who's a leader, pedigree, great character. Neighbors has been asking for him, so it kind of had gotten me excited.
Sounds like Russell Wilson to me.
Well, all right, you can bring in Russell Wilson. Let's be honest. Stafford's much better than Russell Wilson, but okay, if you want to go to
they're both on the decline.
Russell Wilson, you bring in a Russell Wilson, then you draft a quarterback at 3. But if we brought in a Stafford, we all know this. They're not drafting a quarterback at 3.
I will say this real fast to your point, Miz.
One thing
I'll just make my. We go ahead, Mac. I'll speak after you. Go ahead.
Now, I was just going to say this real quick. This will be real quick. One thing problem I have with your plan is you're like, get Abdul Carter at 3. There's no way in the world I see Abdul Carter even sitting there at number 3. I don't see him getting past the Cleveland Browns, bro. I just don't see it. I don't see that happening in any realm of this world. Do I see the Cleveland Browns passing up on Abdul Carter when they got a Myles Garrett on their squad that right now that is pretty much demanding a trade off of their football team? If anything, they're going to grab Abdul Carter, and if they haven't already traded Myles Garrett, that'll be the reason they're able to now trade Myles Garrett and get a haul for Myles Garrett. They're going to. So I don't see that even being reality of Abdul Carter being sitting there at number 3, waiting for the New York Giants, waiting for the New York Giants to grab him up.
No, I've been saying
that's
that.
just my opinion on that situation.
If they trade Garrett, they're gonna draft Carter. You're right, but then you have another blue chip player that you could stick next to Dexter with the kid out of Michigan, you know, or if the Raiders. I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm just playing options out. Like, yo, if the Raiders want to call you and offer you a couple of damn good picks because they're dying for Shador, but yo, if Shador's there at 3, like I said, I'm not gonna be mad, yo, because I think like there's been so many links between Shador and the Giants that it's most likely going to be the scenario that plays out. The thing with the Stafford is I got excited about having, yo, Stafford is fucking good, man. I know he's 37, but he is still damn good.
I mean, he wasn't. He's not. He was good last year, but there's a reason why they were trying to work out his deal. They understand they're on the back 9 of his career. Okay, they understand that he wants an extension. You have to think of Mathew Stafford. His best option to win is not the New York Giants. His best option to win is to stay with the Rams, which he's had back-to-back playoff runs already with them. They were a couple drives away from hosting the NFC Championship game. What he's doing is he wants more money to come back. I get it, and that's fine. When he comes to New York, we don't have the same caliber of team. It's exciting that he's here. Ooh, a big name, high five. You know, like I get it. I understand why you're excited about why you would bring Mathew Stafford in here, but I don't know if that goes to say. I don't think it goes the same way and is the right message. Everyone keeps telling me they're fired. They're fired. They're fired if they bring Mathew Stafford in here and don't bring a young guy in here. They're fired. You can't tell me I'm going 8-9 with Mathew Stafford and you have your job next season. That doesn't work, because if you're telling me that same scenario, then I'm telling you the scenario where you bring in Shador Sanders and they go 6-11, they keep their jobs because John Mara will be like, well, I see progress in the young rookie quarterback. They only have 1 more year left. They have ample money to spend. I'm gonna let them have 1 more chance at this, so I don't do what I did with Daniel Jones and keep getting new coaches in here and not developing the guy. John Mara is not going to do. He already did it with the coaches right now. He could have fired those idiots. And we'll talk about him in a minute. He apparently kept them out of spite because of the airplanes. But the point is, he kept these idiots because he didn't want to pay coaches again because he's been doing it in his entire 2 years and done. He didn't want that anymore. So he keeps these fucking idiots 1 more year. And everybody that keeps telling me prior to this Mathew Stafford news, well, they're going to pick their quarterback. They're going to pick their quarterback. They're only here because to pick their quarterback. So now they're not going to fucking pick their quarterback and sit here and try to kick the can down the road with Mathew Stafford because all of a sudden now they need to save their jobs. No, you get the newborn in here. You get the Shador Sanders in here, and I'm telling you right now, John Mara ain't going to fire these guys over that. He's going to be like, I can't do what I did with Daniel Jones to these guys. I'm not going to do that to this rookie. I'm going to give them 1 more year, and if they put it together, great. If they don't, they're fired anyways, and their contract's up. It just makes sense. They did it with fucking Daniel Jones this year. They did it with Daniel Jones. Instead of drafting a quarterback, they already knew they had an out with Daniel Jones, so they let him play out the season. They got him a guy. He fucking stunk, and they let him walk. They'll do the same thing with these guys. They'll say, listen, they got their young quarterback. Now we're going to see what they can do with this young quarterback. I'm going to give them 2026, and if they lose, they're all gone from top to bottom.
I love everybody's points on that, and everybody's right in their own right, because at the end of the day, I think we were going to bring in a free agent, and no one's saying that Mathew Stafford is not the best one. I agree 100% with Miz. Mathew Stafford, and everybody probably agrees that Mathew Stafford is the best quarterback to win now and put us in a position to compete. But at the end of the day, we all agree that we don't want to pay him that much because he's on the decline and he is 37-year-old. 37-year-olds. I do agree at Mac that Carter might not make it to us, but I'm at a place where I wouldn't mind bringing in a Mathew Stafford if we actually have a plan in place. And I don't trust Brian Dable and Joe Shane to scheme that deep. I just think that they're just trying to find someone to save their asses and someone that could win games, and for they don't have to wait on a rookie to do it. I think there's a rookie that I do like that I would like over everybody in this draft is probably Sanders, because he was taught defense at a young age, and he won at every collegiate program and high school football, and everywhere he goes, he wins. And I just think that he'll put tickets in seats, and I just think Sanders to Neighbors will be absolutely amazing. I don't mind Ward. I just think he plays too much hero ball. And
can we play that out for a second? Let's play that out for a second. I just want to play your scenario out, right? Mm-hmm. What's going to generate more buzz? getting Shedeur Sanders in here with a fresh start, or sitting here getting an old, washed up 37-year-old. Like Sanders brings, like you said, bodies to the seats. There's gonna be a swagger about our quarterback room. We're gonna have a different aura about us coming in there with a new guy. Mathew Stafford's cool and fun and ooh, hooray, I get to wear my jersey and finally, maybe beat the Eagles once in a while or something like that. But it's not gonna be the same when when Shedeur walks in, because it's gonna be like that Eli Manning aura. He's gonna not be. It's everybody talking about, and Miz, you've mentioned this. Is New York too big for people? It ain't going to be too big for Shedeur Sanders when he walks in there.
And I think he's gonna be a player, Adam. Like, to Lou's point, I understand where Lou is coming from, because our coach can't coach to save his fucking life. But at the end of the day, I think, I kind of look at when Zach Taylor was 3 wins with the Bengals, and every time Joe Burrow gets hurt, the defense can't hold it together and they lose fucking games. And then you pair Zach Taylor with Joe Burrow, and then, oh my God, the Bengals is a competitive team. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of like almost in a similar situation with this. Now, I don't want Brian Daboll to be around longer than 3 years, but at least with Sanders, I think Sanders is a quarterback that can overcome the horrific play calling that Brian Daboll presents him. And when you look at someone like Mathew Stafford, I agree with you, Adam, but I still think that if you go and take that route, I don't think there's going to be that much quarterbacks that's going to be available in the 3rd round to get. There might be Dylan Gabriel. There might be.
To be clear, I would love for Shedeur Sanders to be our quarterback. Even if we get him, we're in a position to win this season. We still got a whole lot of stuff to fix.
That's absolutely facts.
No. I wasn't saying that he's gonna, be Jaden Daniels.
No, I know.
I'm just talking about.
He kept saying, to Lou's point, I want to make sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we all know you like.
Everybody understands.
Sorry. That could kind of be misleading. But yeah, Lou loves Shedeur, and he'll love to be here. But I think there's not going to be. Okay, you can get a Riley. Let's ask Adam about that. That's his Notre Dame quarterback. He'll probably be there in the 4th. But your Jackson Deutsch is gonna be gone. Like Monroe might even be gone. And I don't think that Monroe has the ability to play right now. But I do think that teams are gonna look at his burst and gonna want him because of that. When you look at the quarterback who just won the Super Bowl in Jalen Hurts, a lot of people look at Monroe and they see the same thing. A lot of people go as far as saying a Jackson 2.0. And what stamps that, what puts the approval on that, is when he goes against competition every single Sunday. He's going against Georgia. He's at the 25-yard line, and he's outrunning defenders that's going to be playing on Sundays in for a touchdown. So when we bring in someone like Mathew Stafford, yes, that sells us on a veteran quarterback. But I'm not trying to be to disagree with your point, Miz, but how did that work out with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers still had bomb numbers. Aaron Rodgers had pretty good numbers, but they didn't account for wins. And when we pay someone that much, if Mathew Stafford was 32 in 31, I'll be fully on board, because that at least buys us 5 to 6 more years. But when the guy's 37 on a decline of his career, he's going from an elite coach to I don't even know what the fuck he is. It's kind of tough. How much was that of Sean McVay with Mathew Stafford? And is it going to translate to Mathew Stafford with Brian fucking Daboll, a pocket passer that's not a mobile quarterback, that we all know Brian Daboll loves his mobile quarterbacks? And what I try to do is I get it. We're all passionate about this team. But when I look at things, I try to take myself outside of being a Giants fan. And I get it. Monroe is not the best. But when you think of Brian Daboll, he's going to look at Monroe and he's going to be like, ooh, a project. You know what I'm saying? Look at Jaden Daniels, what he just did. Look at who just won the Super Bowl. That is all skills where Monroe can get you a 10-yard run. Now, if I want to be completely clear, and let's move on to the draft, we're not gonna mind a veteran quarterback, but just have a plan in place. I'm going to pose this question to you, Miz. Say we don't go to, you can start it off and then pass it over to maybe Mac, and then pass it over to Lou, and then Adam, and then Raphael. But we don't trade. We don't trade for we don't basically, we get someone like Marcus Mariota. So someone that that's probably going to be holding the clipboard soon.
No.
Who would I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. We don't get a free agent that could actually start. Who would besides, let me just cancel that point. No, who do you want out of everything? Who do you want to do this draft? Who would you draft? You can trade out of the pick. You can stay there at 3. Who do you want? You can trade up to the Titans because there's talks. And my sister's boyfriend is a major Titans fans, and we talk about football. And in his camp, the Titans are trying to move out of that position. Those are real rumors. They're talking about it in Tennessee. So do you move up to number 1? Do you stay at number 3? Do you trade out of number 3? What do you do? And then after you're done, pass it over to Mac and then pass it over to Lou, and then we'll go from there.
Well, first of all, I just want to say something about the other thing, and then I'll quickly comment on this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like people like, and I know I don't have a lot to fight with, but I think a lot of people pick on Dable too much. Dable ran his fucking offense because he had no confidence in the quarterback that was playing for him, so he ran him most of the time. I don't think he's going to run that same style if he brings in a Stafford or a Shedeur Sanders or a new quarterback. I don't think he's going to be running him to get him killed like that. So that's just one thing. You had Daniel Jones, and that's why he went that style. At 3, I'm not trading up to 1 if I believe Shedeur is going to come to 3. That's what a GM's job is, to find out, to get a feel for the league, the temperature, what's going on. You're supposed to know exactly what's going on. You're supposed to know what team behind you is trying to creep up. You got to know these things. So if you feel Shadeur's going to fall to 3, or if you feel that Dion's going to somehow quietly tell the teams in front of the Giants, leave my son alone, something that plays along the lines when what happened with Eli or whatever it is. If you believe you're going to have Shedeur at 3, you're going to get Shedeur at 3. There's no reason to go up to 1. But I'm not trading like 2 1s, 2 2s to go up 2 spots if that's what it's going to take. I don't know even what it's going to take. At the end of the day, I feel the Titans are taking Ward. That's what's going to happen on draft night. I think Shedeur will be there at 3. That's who you draft at 3. If you brought in a Fields or a Winston in free agency, you draft in Shedeur at 3. The other guy I really like, Adam and people know, I love Dart. I think Dart is going to be good. And I think Dart's going to climb these charts as close as we get to the draft.
His stock will definitely rise. The pro day, the combine, his stock is going to rise into probably a first-round pick, believe it or not.
Oh, I think he's going to be higher than just a first-round pick. I believe when all said and done, he's going to go like Bo Nix did last year, somewhere around the 9 to 11 spot. Or around there.
Could happen.
Keep your eye on the Jets.
He's ranked right now as the 3rd. He just swapped places with Dylan Gabriel and Monroe. Now he's ranked as the 3rd quarterback, and we haven't even had pro days. We haven't even had the combine. The circus of the media never get their hands on these kids yet.
Yeah, so those are the 2 guys I like. I like Shedeur or Dart for us. It's not that I don't think Ward is not athletically inclined and talented. I think Ward's going 1. And I think the Titans, they could do all the talk they want. Come draft night, the Titans are going to draft Ward.
It could happen. Ward quarter, and it leaves us with Sanders. Go right ahead, Matt.
Well, look. That's no secret what I'm about to say. No secret at all. Number 3, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, whichever one of them, they might both be there. You pick the one you like the best. You make sure you grab one of them. Point blank and period. Stop playing around. Don't fuck it up. You fucked it up last year in the draft. Don't fuck it up this year. Don't fuck it up. You gotta get one of those guys. Whichever one is there, or if they both there, you pick the one you like the best. And I've been saying it, and I'm gonna keep on saying it. Then you get to maybe the 3rd or 4th round, and you get another goddamn quarterback. And you bring a couple of these young guys in. And you still bringing a bridge guy in free agency. This needs to be addressed. We talked about it at the top of the show. What has this New York Giant team been since Eli Manning has been gone? You have to figure it out at the quarterback position. It is the most important position on the damn team. You got to figure it out. You have to figure it out. And if later on in the draft, you get like one of those guys, maybe like a Dylan Gabriel or somebody like that, who if he's available like in the 3rd round or something like that, don't hesitate to pull that trigger. Do it. This quarterback room is a bit of a mess. Literally. What we have last year? Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, Tommy DeVito, Tim Boyle. Come on, man. Come on.
Boski,
You
you know
gotta
he
fix
was like
that
late in the
shit,
season,
man.
Mac. Late in the season on DraftKings, we was like value sleeper plays. Like people was looking at like Tim Boyle, like playing him because he cost like 4,500, and they could go and get all the like. It was we were a
Or
laughing
Howard,
stock last year.
third
We
round,
were
Howard.
Howard. I would love me some Will Howard.
I
Go
got
right ahead,
a
Lou.
for Mac and Adam, and this is not gonna happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but I would love to see your video on draft night by the end of the second. if the Giants don't draft a quarterback,
Don't you talk like that, miss. That talk will
I'm
not
just
be
saying,
allowed on the
and then
show.
they don't take no one in the second round, and they're all gone. Yo, this fan base will
I'm gonna walk
explode.
away from the fucking team. I'm gonna be a Bengal fan.
Go ahead, it's not gonna happen.
Oh man, go ahead, Lou.
What was the question?
The question is, who do you want to draft? If picks doesn't matter, you're there at 3. If you want to trade up, if you want to
We
trade
was taking a
down,
nap.
you're the GM. Who do you want to draft?
No, listen, I already told you I would like to get Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he's going to be there at 3, and I don't agree with trading up to go get him from 3 to 1 because they're going to want an immense amount, and we shouldn't have won that damn game to drop to 3 when we was at the number 1 pick overall. But that being said, we still need a lot more pieces than just the quarterback again. So if I could get Abdul Carter at 3 and get like a maybe trade 2 of my 3s up because we got 3 third-round picks right now.
I think so. We got some
We should
comps.
have
Yes,
3 by the time.
we should have 3. Yes.
Yeah. So if we can trade 2 thirds, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, 2 third-round picks to move up, you know, and go grab a Milroe or a Dart because I don't think that we will get Shedeur as much as I would love to. I just don't think he's going to end up being a Giant. So I would get the cornerback or the edge rusher and try to get a quarterback later on in the round.
I like that. I like that. If we can leave an edge rusher, a great cornerback that's going to be there. You know, I would love me some Carter, and you come back around and you get a Dort. That'll be almost finessing the draft at that point. Then that'll be absolutely amazing.
I'm from the block, baby.
Mac might be
Yeah,
right.
sir.
Carter might not be there. You might be right.
Yeah, Mac could absolutely. The Browns could fall in love with him, but I agree with Lou. I honestly think that Sanders is going to go number 1 to whoever is at number 1, whether it be the Giants, whether it be the Titans, whether it be the Raiders, whoever goes. I don't think it's going to be the Raiders, but whoever trades up, or if the Titans stay put, and that's just my personal. I honestly, I'm not even trying to be mean, but like, I just don't have a good feeling. It's just I don't have a good feeling about Cam Ward. I just think he like. I'm not trying to go down that route, but you know, there's a Tennessee quarterback a Texas quarterback that came in actually a Tennessee quarterback that came in the league back in the 2007, 2008. That it didn't really pan out, and he was hyped up to the moon. So I kind of feel like Cam Ward definitely has the skills, but he has to just go to the right coach. And I just think if he goes to the wrong coach, it can plague his career. But that stands for everybody. And I just think I want to see him play better competition. Now Adam is absolutely right. He's been playing football for a long time, and that could easily translate to him learning a bunch of different systems and make his transition to the NFL a whole lot easier. But I just think Sanders is the true number 1 of this draft, and I would want to get him because of the fact that something about him, I just have a good feeling. You know what I'm saying? Where it's the total opposite when it comes to Cam Ward, but I'm not going to be mad if you take him. He's easily right up there at Sanders and deservedly so to be there, and I can't judge off of the competition that he played, and who am I to judge? That being said, let's go right ahead and get Adam's point. What do you want to draft? Who do you want to draft? What do you want to do, Adam? Let's get it.
Well, Liz is right. Cam Ward is going number 1, but it's not going to be the Titans. It's going to be to the New York Giants. Because we're going to trade up and go get Cam Ward, the best quarterback in the draft with the highest ceiling. And the reason is, for many reasons, they need a quarterback. But to me, you can't be scared to trade up and give up assets, okay? And I don't think they're going to give up 3 threes or whatever. Because let's be real, Tennessee knows they can't get that from the Giants because there's a value chart. And we also know that the Jets moved up with 3 second-round picks to move up 3 spots. They're going up 2. They'll probably swap the 2026 at best first-round pick and maybe a third and maybe another third in this draft. I don't think it's going to be as egregious. Go up there, have your pick of the litter, get the quarterback that fits more of what Brian Dable likes to do in terms of running with the quarterback. He ran with Josh Allen. He had Jalen Hurst in Alabama. He likes these mobile quarterbacks that can move around and are not stationary in the pocket. That's what he likes to do. That's what his MO is. And I believe that Cam Ward gives you that. And he's flying under the radar. There's no talk about him in Giant camp whatsoever, but everything else is Dart and Sanders and this, that, and the other thing. Sometimes you gotta look at the one that's not talked about the most and start to investigate over there. It's like when you have suspects in a murder case. You're like,
a month ago, I told everybody I like Cam Ward more than Sanders. That I think he was the better quarterback, but I think that the Giants were gunning for Shedeur. But I agree with you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Right. So my point is I think sometimes you fluff a guy up to have other teams pick him, so you can have some people fall to you, right?
You fluffing up, Adam.
I think I'm holding it together here. You know what I'm saying? I think that Cam Ward is secretly in the mix with the Giants, but I don't hear anything negative out of their camp from him. Nothing bothers them about him. So they may think he's going number 1, but I think they could also trade to 1 and get him, and I think that would be something that we should look into. I like Sanders. I think Sanders would be here. I love what he brings to the table as a leader. I think people are misreading him because his dad is Deion Sanders, but I do think Cam Ward has more upside than Shedeur Sanders. I wouldn't be surprised if he's their pick.
I do agree on that. I do believe that Cam Ward has more upside, but I just like the dog in Sanders. Like for me, not saying that Cam Ward's not a dog. I'm just saying there's something about Sanders that I really, really do like. And it could just be a fill-in, but we'll see what happens. Go ahead, Matthew is going to say something, and I'd love to see Raphael's point.
I agree with the upside of Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward's upscaling is actually a bit higher than Shedeur Sanders as well. I think Shedeur Sanders is probably more ready to come in and play right now if need be, though. And I think that's the difference between one of the big difference between the two players right now. But like I said, I mean, there's so many. This time of year, we got all the rumors circulating all around, and there's something we haven't talked about at all through this whole process. This whole time we've been talking about this, and there's another player on the board that we haven't talked about. He's not a quarterback, but he's probably the best damn highest-rated player in this draft overall. I mean, we know who that is, Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter, who was going to the Combine as a cornerback, by the way, as a D-back, by the way. If y'all haven't heard that, he will be going to the Combine as a D-back. And it's, to me, sometimes the number 1 overall team might just do that. They might not. They just going to take the best goddamn player available in a trap, which means you may have your choice of quarterbacks sitting right there at number 3. Because like I said, I stand by what I believe that the Cleveland Browns are not going to let Abdul Carter get past them. I just don't see that. I can't imagine that they're going to let Abdul Carter get past them. And if Tennessee, for instance, holds on to that number 1 overall pick and they say the hell with it and take Travis Hunter just because he's the absolute best player, then, I mean, that means the Giants will be sitting number 3 and then they have their choice. And that's, to me, is the best case scenario, is to have your options and have your choice of who you actually want and not who you're maybe perhaps settling for. You know what I mean? So it's just...
I want to make a point.
Options are endless, man, and it's going to be a process. What's up?
Say something to what you're saying, right? We always talk about like Will Howard or Quinn Ewers to the Giants. Why don't the teams in front of us have the same mindset as we talk about? Right? If they see Travis Hunter, why wouldn't I get Travis Hunter in the first? And I'm the Browns or the Titans. I have 33, 35. I'm still in the top 3 picks. I can take Jackson Dart or Will Howard in the second round and still get my quarterback as well. So if we're going to play the game with the Giants where, they're not going to take a quarterback and they can get one, well, we need to start doing that with Tennessee and Cleveland as well. And that's just my thought. But listen, guys, thanks for having me. I got to get going. Appreciate the time, as always.
Yeah, I will say this. We are running out of hour and 30. I don't mind leaving the show on longer because Mac does that definitely. This is Mac's StreamYard, so I appreciate you hosting us on your StreamYard, Mac. Mac definitely has the ability to close it out, but I was thinking we go another 15 if you guys are down with that, and then we end it out, and we can always continue with another State of the Giants next week. But yeah, go right ahead, Mac, if you wanted to finish. I know Miz is driving. If he has any points, I know Big Lou.
Oh, no,
if
I'm
you want
good.
to talk.
No,
Raphael, I'm sorry, and not to forget about you, my man. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, Raphael. The mic is yours.
Okay, so I know that I'm Las Vegas Raiders fan, and I know that I understand a lot of things in college football, but my option to draft on this one is Mason Graham from Michigan Wolverines.
I love it.
Because you know what? I think it will happen, but I'd love to see anything for the team because with all those pieces we already made for Eli front or our defensive line, we ever got one level to a defense to Eli that will raise the bar. All for those remaining players is pure osmosis. I know the quarterbacks had less time in the pocket, no run lanes, but I'm going to add some blue chip talent of the first round that we can build a roster around. I mean, we just keep hitting stuff like Brock Bowers from Georgia Bulldogs in the first, and sooner rather this later, this roster is going to be star-studded and really can support a young quarterback. And I understand that some Raider fans, they want so bad Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, but in my personal opinion, I think we're going to draft Mason Graham from Michigan Wolverines because it's just like a blue chip prospect. I mean, he could be really help with Max Crosby, Graham, and Wilkins. They have to rotate in at the other end. I mean, that should be incredible. I mean, imagine the defensive line for the Raiders. Our rotational edges has been playing great because who need corners?
Hey, send no damn Raiders stream.
I just wanted to let him have his little moment of talk about his team. Yeah, Lou is right. This ain't a damn Raiders.
This is a Giant stream, brother.
He's right though, bro. I love Graham too, man. I mean, I wanted him for the Giants, so.
Oh man,
I like Graham a lot, man. I think he's a beast, man. I can only imagine having a line with Burns, Kayvon, and Dexter and Graham in the middle. You know, just if we were thinking around that route for a second.
Yeah, I understand, but I just finished my thoughts. But I think the New York Giants could be great with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, that could be great for the fit. So that would be great.
I love it. Good stuff.
He's gonna be scrambling around for dear life with that O line.
Yeah, if you don't address this O line, I'll be honest with you. If you don't just O line, we should take someone like Monroe in the third because
they've addressed the O line and addressed the O line again, and they still haven't got it right. So I'm saying I don't have confidence in these guys, man. And I know people keep saying, yeah, it was by design. They were tanking on purpose, this, that, and the third. I do not trust Dable and Shane, bro. You do not let a guy like Saquon Barkley walk away for free on purpose.
Yeah.
Nobody can convince me that he did that shit on purpose and we didn't get nothing for Saquon. Ain't no fucking way that was on purpose. He was stupid. He made a huge mistake.
That was just irresponsible.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Irresponsible is the number one word. That's a good one.
Yep.
Well said, guys. Well
So
said.
that's what worries me. That's what worries me. We can get the top players at every spot that we picking, and it won't matter if you have the wrong guys coaching. Because we got guys that Gettleman picked that weren't being developed here, and when they went elsewhere, they shine.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And not even to offer McKinley something, you know what I'm saying? Just let him walk like that, and then he's leading the league in interceptions in week 5 and shit like that, just absolutely balling in Green Bay. And I'm not even gonna mention 26 because you just did, but that shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? I just donated my jersey to Salvation Army because I don't no longer need it. You know what I'm saying? That shit hurt. You know what I'm saying? And for nothing, for absolutely nothing. Oh yeah, Miz, you got any last words? We'll let the panel go about.
They're not gonna pay a safety $90 million if you're not ready to win a Super Bowl. So
that is
So I knew that they were gonna let McKinney go. Plus, they had a little fallout last year because McKinney ran his mouth a little bit. But with the Barkley thing, man, I truly 100% believe Joe Shane made it personal, which is strike number one. Strike number two, Joe Shane wanted to trade him at the deadline the year before, and Mara 100% did not allow him to. Okay, whether it's because he loves him or because the seats in the seats are not going to be filled in December. You know the way Mara thinks. And then number three, you got to the end of the season and now Barkley's becoming a free agent. Why the fuck you don't tag him and you choose his destination? Don't be with he's a great guy, so we're gonna respect him and let him go where he wants. Because, the GM and the Eagles said, we're no longer interested. We're not in the Barkley thing. And okay. And the second you let him go, 30 seconds into free agency, the Eagles grabbed him. So they played you, bro. They played chess with you. You tag the guy. You send him to the Texans. You get back a second or a third round pick. But at least you got him out of the conference. You know what I mean?
That's facts.
Exactly.
That's 100% facts.
Exactly.
Now you had to sit here on top of all the nightmares you had, Mac. I'm sorry, but on top of all the nightmares and all the shit that we've had shoved into our fucking mouths, you had to watch this guy go win a Super Bowl with your enemy and have a parade and drink beers and fucking. It's just fucking humiliating, bro.
Yeah, it was hard to watch.
And the saddest part of all of this, I'll tell you the truth. This is me too, bro. The saddest part of all of this is I'm sitting in the Super Bowl, and as much as I hate that helmet, I'm kind of rooting for him to win because he's not a bad guy. He didn't do nothing wrong.
That's
what I mean?
He's a good human. Yes.
It's messed up, bro. It's a messed up feeling.
You know what clip kind of stood out for me over the season is when they played us, and then he's all like, "Yo, you want to break a record?" And he's like, "Nah, let the young guys eat." I'm like, "That's respect." You know what I'm saying? He was shedding on us. He was shedding on us that whole game, and he could easily broke the record against us. But he's like, "Nah, let the youngins eat." And I know we all seen that short, and that just shows this character. And when you openly backhand him and you expect him to come and be like, yeah, I'll sign for $12 million when he was down the face of this franchise and carried this franchise to every win that they had over the last 4 years, over fucking 40% of the offense, and then you let him sign with the division rival and they win the Super Bowl. That was tough. And I do get your point. It's almost like, Miz, I get your point. It's like, yeah, go win one, Barkley, because we basically fucked you. The organization that she basically put on your back as a leader on the sidelines, not only on the football field, but as a leader. This team lost more than a Hall of Fame player. They lost a leader on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? And that's big in football because not everybody's vocal like that. And look what he bought to Philadelphia. He basically bought his style of football with his leadership on the sideline, and they go off as Super Bowl champions. So that sucks as Giants fans. But
yeah, I just want to say one thing, and Zion, and that's. And no disrespect, I love this franchise to death.
Yeah.
Bro. I always go on Twitter and try to paint the positive picture. I think the Giants will come out and could be 500 up against a real hard schedule next year. I really feel that way. But, what are the players in the locker room? I'm not talking about the kids who just got here last year like Neighbors and Tracy. I'm talking about the players that have been here. What are they thinking sitting and watching Barkley go win the Super Bowl? Not that they're mad about that, but what are you thinking about? But my idiot GM let this guy go. Like, why did you let this guy go? And you see what he's capable of. What is Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas thinking about that right now? They got to be laughing inside. You know what I mean?
That's absolutely facts, and I'm so glad that we have them on contracts and they're not free agents this offseason because after seeing Barkley win, they might ship off themselves. So I'm so glad that Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence, one of the best left tackles, one of the best DTs outside of Polly Jones, is playing for our organization. But you have a good point. It's like, what are the long-term players? And you know what interview kind of, not to drag the stream on, but you know what interview kind of hurt me? When I seen Hyatt's interview at the end of the season, like, why draft the guy if you're not even gonna fucking put him on the field and utilize his speed? You go give Andy Reid and go give Sean McVay Jalen Hyatt. Go see what elite coaches can do with that kid. But yet you just have him like, well, why do you even draft the kid in the second round if you're not going to utilize him? Even the sheriff and Peyton Manning was saying, give the ball to fucking Hyatt. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, why don't they utilize their players? But that's open up a whole other can of worms, and that gets to Lou's point. It's almost like, yeah, we can bring in all these great fucking players, but do we have the resources in front of them to succeed with the shitty coaches in the organization? Is basically a 5-star organization running like a half-star organization. You know what I'm saying?
To be fair, Z, we haven't, listen, these guys are not developing players, but we haven't been developing players for like a good 9 or 10 years already.
That's absolutely facts. And it's
You
why do we see teams like the Texans, the Buffalo Bills, the Washington Commanders? Teams are turning the page. The Detroit Lions. Teams are turning the page while we're still trying to figure out, okay, you know, like, that's just fucking sad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like someone said the other day, bro, someone mentioned the other day that Hernandez is playing good. So he left the Giants and he's playing good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're like, he's a free agent. Do we bring him back? I'm like, you don't bring him back. That's like going back to your ex-wife after it didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm saying, how come he could go to fucking Arizona? Mac, was it Arizona? How come he could go to Arizona, which is by no long shot any type of great organization, but they could develop him, but we couldn't do anything with him? How come? There's an infection in this franchise, bro. I don't know what it is. There's an infection in this organization. I talk about this with my friend.
There's an infection in that facts, though.
No, I talked to my friend. He's a coach down here. He's our age, Mac. He's like 45. He's a diehard Giant fan. He comes from Brooklyn. He lives here in Florida. Me and him talk all the time. He's always, every single year, I don't even need to talk to him. I know what he's going to attack me about. The O-line, the O-line, the O-line. He's still talking about the O-line. And he'd be like, there's something infected in this franchise that for some reason we can't develop players anymore. Like, we're not developing players, but we always used to.
That's a fact.
You know, but then these players go to other teams and they become pretty damn solid. They become serviceable. So what's up with that?
What is going on, Joe?
That's absolutely facts.
But it's also, you look at this season like a season ago. You talked about Jalen High. I'll throw another player out there. Daniel Bellinger. You got this guy all season just wasting away on the damn sideline. Like, I get it. He's not an all-pro tight end by any means, but damn it, he can do some things. He can do some things, and you just have him wasting away on the sideline all season long. And then when Theo Johnson does go down, you start using him a lot more because you have no other choice at that point. And once again, he's giving you production that he could have been giving you all damn season, and you weren't using the guy at all. It's just the decisions that get made by this staff. It's just been crazy. I can't understand it. I can't figure it out. I don't know what they see that we're not seeing, or vice versa, whatever. It's just something. It's just crazy to me. How can you not figure out a way to use Jalen Hyatt? You traded assets to acquire Jalen Hyatt a couple of years ago in the draft, and now you're just going to not use him?
Right.
Come on.
That is facts.
No, you're right. And man, I don't know, bro. And man, you got players. Yo, they love the players that were drafted by the Giants, bro. You got pride that you was a Giant, but I can't say anymore that the players, when they leave, that they're not fucking breathe a sigh of relief. Like, they're happy to have gotten out of here. You know what I mean?
What up against?
And isn't that sad, bro? We're talking about the New York Football Giants, bro. Like, McKinney is
fighting Miller.
Yeah, McKinney was happy to get out of here. There's no way in the world Barkley would ever want to come back after the year he just had. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got players leaving the Giants, and they're, like, happy to have gotten out of here. Man, it's like somebody said today, yo, the Giants have become the Jets. It's embarrassing.
That's it. It definitely is sad. Joel, we're almost ending it out here, but there's always a spot for you on the show, my brother. If you want to join, get some last words, get some thoughts on it. We were talking about Eli Manning not making the Hall of Fame, talking about Mathew Stafford trade rumors. We were talking about the draft, who we want to grab, and now we're just talking about coaches not utilizing their players to the best. It almost seems like Brian Dable wants to run his scheme so much, He's not putting his players in the best abilities to succeed, and it's sad. If as a football coach, I would want a system that I can utilize my players to the best of their skill levels, not trying to force them on my system. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, Dable, but we'll see what happens next season. Go right ahead, Lou. You had some stuff to say?
Damn, Lou Crickets.
I think he's busy.
My whole thing is I'll say
I didn't hear the question. It sounds
no.
On next door.
No, you good. I'm just saying, is there anything you want to? We're just basically just having a conversation. Is there anything that you wanna say?
Me?
Yeah, you. We definitely.
I want to say a whole lot, but it'll probably get us canceled. So I have to, mind my speech. But yeah, no, the New York Giants are in a state of disarray, man, from the top on down. You see now that Mara and Tish are selling a percentage of the company. There's talks of Eli Manning and Michael Strahan doing a joint venture to buy that 10%. We'll see where that ends up. Maybe that would be a step in the right direction, as both of these guys are former players. They can probably help with the scouting and the evaluating of guys and developing some of this rookie talent that we have here, because we have a very, very young team. Again, I'm just not confident in the guys we have hired to coach and develop them. Maybe if you can bring a Tom Coughlin in as an associate or something, and Strahan and Eli Manning, and turn this ship around, man. Bring some of that championship vibe back here and get some of that good energy going back in this organization.
Yeah, 100%.
Well said. Well said. Well, I need
to get something. I'm sorry. This is not Giant related.
Guys, but it looks
not
like
Giant related, but
news.
No, it's not breaking. I guess it came out a few hours ago. But Justin Tucker's got 7 more chicks that have accused him of sexual misconduct. I don't know what's going on with these guys in this league. Justin Tucker, the kicker for the damn.
Wow.
7 more.
Would have gone down as one of the best kickers.
Like, he's in
definitely top 5.
They want to be happy at the end,
Goodness gracious.
At the end of the day, man, you got to be skeptical. You got to be skeptical of these allegations nowadays too, though, man.
You never know. Exactly.
Look at Russell Brand. Look at Johnny Depp. Look at the Tate brothers. Look at the Erica Mena situation with Safari and all of this other stuff, man. That these women come out here and say this or that, and then there's video evidence proving the contrary. So everybody is innocent until proven guilty. That is our constitutional right. So I reserve the right to pass judgment until somebody is proven guilty.
Yep, a lot of people.
You're right, and I'm not passing judgment, but we're talking about now at about a total of about 12 or 13 chicks now. I mean, I'm just saying, I feel crying and hard to believe that they're all just lying. All these chicks.
It could have had a group chat
together. He's up there. He's hitting Deshaun Watson numbers. He's hitting Deshaun Watson numbers right now at this point, bro. I'm just saying.
That's heavy. That's a good statement right there. Deshaun Watson had definitely some numbers.
Dang.
That
not said, Massage Watson.
Massage Watson.
Massage Watson.
Oh man, I just want to start up by saying we're gonna end the stream right now. Thank you guys all for joining. That was absolutely amazing. Thank you for the chat, man. You guys keep that going. Never a dull moment in chat. Respect everybody that joined this afternoon. Make sure you guys subscribe. We have that links early on in the show, so make sure you guys subscribe to all these great content creators. I'm gonna go around and get them all a chance to pause what's next on the horizon for those channels. I will say this: I want to apologize for our Premium Takes audience. We will be back sometime this week. It's just been a lot of busy stuff going on in all of our lives, and we're trying to figure out a day that works the best, being that my work schedule has changed again. But that being said, there's so much stuff going on in the NBA that we probably want to cover, and then, of course, keeping you guys locked in on football. We got March Madness coming up, and we got a lot of stuff around the corner as well. I know the All-Star game is tonight, so if you guys are watching that's awesome. I'll probably tune in from time to time. But I just want to say thank you again. I'm going to pass the mic over to Lou.
Mac McClung last night. Did you see what he did in the dunk contest last night?
Absolutely.
Goodness
What a
gracious.
dog. What absolutely
gracious.
a dog. 3-time defending, damn near saving the dunk contest himself. If it wasn't for Mac, the dunk contest will be in the abyss.
Three-peat.
But now 3 straight years that not even that fucking G League guy is fucking up the dunk contest. And shout out to Tyler here with Miami Nation for winning the 3-point.
My man on the hoverboard was nervous when he
Oh my god. That shit was crazy. And he got them all like on his first attempts. He wasn't even like missing them. He was getting them all on his first attempts, man. Jumped over a whole car. Like not the hood of the car, the top of the car.
Oh yeah.
Nah, my shit was when he cleared old boy completely, grabbed the ball and then tapped the rim, then dunked it. I was like, oh, that was nasty work. I was like,
You know what I loved about that? It brought the superstars out, right? Like John Morant says, "Oh, I might want to compete next year." Then Giannis is all like, "If you're gonna compete, I'm gonna compete," and that's what we need.
Man.
You know, growing up with you guys watching basketball, the dunk contest, you had some legends go out there and dunk. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then nowadays, it's like fucking G leaguers are messing people up. So it's like we need. I get it. You guys don't want to get hurt and shit like that, but we need people like a John Morant, people like a Giannis, NBA superstars going out there and dunking. We absolutely need that.
Hey, listen, that kills the narrative that white.
But we got a comment
saying can't jump because my boy was jumping out the damn gym.
All 50s. All 50s
Wow.
too. He got all perfect fucking score, bro. He killed it, man. He killed it. He did.
Absolutely, guys. Go ahead around the room, starting with Lou, and then pass it over to Mac, and we continue from there.
Start with Mac.
Go right ahead, Mac.
Let them know where they gonna catch you next.
I am Mac the Giants fan. Right now, things are going to slow down a little bit on my channel. I got some things going on in the life, you know what I mean? Transitioning to a new job and some other things, and it's a little quiet on the all season right now. So the real deal NFC's roundups are going to be on a little bit of hiatus for a few weeks. But you can definitely check me out, Mac the Giants fan, on YouTube, on Twitter /X, on Facebook, everything. I'm Mac the Giants fan, man. You can check me out right there at everything and subscribe. Hit them thumbs up for the links for the streams, and just keep supporting the movement. I appreciate everybody. It was a great year of the NFC's roundup with me and Adam. We appreciate all the support we got, all the love we got, man. Just keep coming through and showing that love, man. We'll be back in a couple weeks, man. In a few weeks with some more of that content, man.
Well said. Let's get it, Lou.
Yeah, it's your boy Big Lou. You know what I'm saying? G Nation Inside Sports. Y'all know who it is, man. Make sure you stay tuned this Saturday for the rematch between Dimitri Bivol and Archer Beterbiev. That is going to be a banger. Okay, that will be earlier in the day. It won't be your normal leather to the face time at night because it is in Saudi Arabia or Dubai. So I always get them confused, but it's over there where it's going to be early. So probably be around 2:00 in the afternoon somewhat, but stay tuned. That is a huge fight card, man. Every fight on that card is a banger for real. We also got Gervonta Davis coming up March 1st. You got Ryan Garcia's first match back coming up in April. If he wins that, him and Isak Pitbull Cruz will be fighting. Okay. Because Isak Pitbull Cruz won his fight 3 weeks ago. So him and Ryan Garcia have negotiated. If Ryan wins his comeback fight, Pitbull Cruz is his next fight. And if Devin Haney wins his next match, then him and Ryan Garcia will have their match after the Pitbull and Ryan Garcia match. So a lot of leather to the face coming your way. A lot of UFC as well. Catch me tomorrow night for a live. We will be doing a live on Monday night with G Nation Inside Sports, man. We'll be doing a mock draft live with the viewers, and we'll let you guys chime in and tell us who you think we should pick where, given who's available in our mock draft. So if any of you guys are free to tune in tomorrow night for the mock draft, tap in, man. I'll put the link in the old BBK chat, and you know what I'm saying? We'll get it in. G Nation Inside Sports, don't be ninja watchers, you heard?
Most definitely. Let's get it.
Yes, tell me you at,
a lot on the horizon. A lot of the horizon for G Nation. Let's get it, Miz.
Yo, what's up? It's a Miz in the midday. The next time you're going to see the Miz when there's something to be angry about. If I'm not on a video being angry, I'll be attacking somebody on Twitter. You know where to find me. I'll be around here. I'll jump on Lou's stream tomorrow night. Right now it's a little quiet, but don't worry. We'll find something to get angry about real soon.
Absolutely
Facts.
love it. Make sure you guys go tune in to Miz. Absolutely, always keeping it real and authentic, and that's why we fuck with you, Miz. Let's get it. Go
You
right
heard
ahead,
of the mad
Raphael.
rapper.
Yep.
Oh,
Go right ahead,
well,
Raphael.
they just say for the last. But my channels, YouTube. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, as known as Ads, Instagram. I'm on everywhere on the social media right now. I'm gonna take like a little hiatus from my podcast, which is Straight Outta Nation, because I know the off season is gonna be like, well, it's gonna be very slow. But I'm trying to work in on the Combat Club, which is obviously we're talking about mission martial arts, boxing, wrestling, and of course this March. I know the rest of the Ferrari, but I just wanted to get involved with the college sports, which is the college basketball, which is like the March Madness, which is gonna be like a huge surprises right now. And of course, I've been working all those like the college football combines, which is I've been studying a lot. And don't be surprised because I know this captain right here, even know that he's Las Vegas Raiders fan, but also he's a college football fan, mission martial arts, combat sports, but also my channel is going to be like really explosive because I know that I have 100, well, 1,000 subscribers, and I just forgot about those numbers. But I know that I have much love and respect for all these content creators, Zion, Mac, Big Lou in the building, Miss. Love you guys. And I just wanted to tell you, don't be a ninja. Just subscribe to all these amazing content creators. You heard?
Absolutely love it, guys. Everybody have a
Judy
blessed evening.
Chap.
I think Judy shot. That being said, man, bless up
Yes.
wherever you guys are watching from. Blessings to you guys, and let's get it. Reality.
Let's get it.